Hello, today we remember the birth in 1774 of Caspar David Friedrich. He was a romantic artist, Germany's equivalent really to our Constable or Turner, except that he saw landscape as something that should be painted as representing what's going on inside. It's the landscape of the soul. And he paints quite bleak pictures of landscapes, um, uh, perhaps because his own life had been comparatively bleak. He lost his mother when he was 7, he lost a sister when he was 8, and another sister in his early teens, and his brother Johann died also when he was in his teens, possibly because he had gone out onto some frozen ice to rescue Caspar, and that's why he drowned and Caspar didn't. He was saved. And so there were a whole range of events in his early life which could have led to this kind of bleak outlook. But he represents this bleakness in many of his paintings, often with just a single individual, usually very, very small, and sometimes almost all his figures are very tiny compared with the vastness of the landscape, as if he's trying to suggest how insignificant human beings are. Uh, uh, but alongside the bleakness, there's hope, because he sees in a number of his paintings a pathway to something more positive. For example, two paired pictures, both called Winter Landscapes. The first one showing a picture right in the middle of the picture of a tiny figure of a man, but clearly on crutches. And then the second picture, again, a very tiny picture, also called Winter Landscapes. But this time the man has thrown his crutches away. They're scattered in the foreground of the painting. And he is there lying against a rock, looking up at the cross with an abbey in the background, as if to say, there is hope if we can but trust in the cross, in Christ. And so he is expressing this inner conviction that he's got in the way he puts his landscape paintings together. And indeed, it's not just that he sees possibilities of healing, like the man was healed from his need of crutches in this life, but also beyond. One of his paintings, Abbey in Oakwood, shows again very small figures in the foreground, 4 or 5 monks who are carrying a coffin from an empty grave, which is right in the foreground of the picture, but moving towards the abbey, the church that's there, and towards what appears to be a rising sun, suggesting that there is a pathway for the human being out of bleakness, out of sadness, out of grief, into hope and confidence and joy. And he is trying to say all this through his painting, and I think it's inspiring to see some of these rather gloomy pictures, but knowing that behind it he's trying also to express that in the gloomness, in the sadness, there is hope and good reason for confidence in the future.